So good morning, everyone. Yeah, it is a little bit fresh this morning, and those that have practiced with me for a couple of years know I love to go, especially the Peter in me, loves to go a little bit crazy in winter because I feel like it gives me permission to do a little bit more of a heating practice. Whereas in the summer, I try to, do a little bit more cooling practice to, cool us down rather than hitting us up in the heat. So it is cool, and it is that opportunity in winter in the cooler weather. And even if, where you are more than winter, spring and autumn can be a little bit cool too. It is a perfect opportunity for us to do a little bit more of a heating practice. And that doesn't necessarily mean fast practice because we still want to be grounded, especially, we are still in autumn where there is a lot of wind around. So we still want to be grounded. But yeah, you can definitely do some of those poses that create a little bit more heat in the body. So I always get a little bit more excited being a pitter. So let's start though in child's pose, and just briefly. So sit back onto your heels, and then if you prefer to have knees wide, take the knees wide, otherwise keeping them narrow. Then hook your thumbs into your hips crease, push down and out, and keep pushing down and out quite firmly with the thumbs as you bring your belly forward and your chest forward. So knees can be wide or narrow, but this just kind of releasing through the hip flexors. And then if you're with your knees wide, you might want to bring your arms forward. Even if your knees are together, you can bring your arms forward, rest on your forearms. If your forehead's not touching the floor, place something under it to lift you up. So that could be one fist on top of the other, or it could be a block or a bolster. And then just gently rocking your hips side to side, just releasing through the hips, the glutes, the lower back. And you might find as you do that, that one side is a little tighter than the other, and that's quite normal. And child's pose is considered a cooling pose because as we come into this deep forward bend, it brings more introspection where you automatically close your eyes and you go within. And as we're in that forward fold position, the tendency is for there to be a little bit more breath into the back body. And as we breathe into the back body, it's stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calming, cooling nervous system. If you're holding on to some emotions in the heart space that maybe bring feelings of sorrow and sadness, then you might feel a little safer in this position as well, as your heart is protected, not in this vulnerable position. Hence why, this being child's pose, where a child, can curl up and feel safe and nurtured. Physiologically, we know that this pose helps to release tightness throughout the back of the body. So noticing where, if anywhere this morning, you're feeling tight in the back body. Might even be just in the back of the neck. Doesn't have to be your lower back, your mid back. Might be through your hamstrings, your calves. And noticing your breath here as you breathe in and out through the nostrils. What effect being mindful of each breath has on your overall state of well-being. And taking this opportunity to set yourself an intention for today or for the weekend. Word your intention as if it's already so. And then repeating it to yourself 3 times. And once you've set your intention, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, lifting your chest up. And then come around sitting onto your buttocks, legs out in front. Bending your knees up. Have a good knee bend so that you can sit with ease up on your sit bones. Flexing the feet, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Turn your palms to face you. Inhale and rolling back just far enough that you can feel it in your abdominals, but there's no strain in your lower back. And then exhale, folding forwards, belly to thigh, chest to knees, chin in towards your chest. Inhale, rolling back. And just to where it feels comfortable, no strain in the lower back. Exhale, folding forwards. As you roll back, get a feeling of your heels glued to the floor, and to come back in, try and lift your knees towards the ceiling. So we start to use our psoas muscle as well as the deep core muscles. Inhale, rolling back. Exhaling to fold forwards. Still breathing in and out through the nose, keeping the jaw relaxed. Next time you row back, staying back in the row, and pause and hold here for a moment. Again, we don't want a feeling of strain in the lower back. So still imagine your heels are glued to the floor. You're trying to lift your knees up towards the ceiling, really deepening this the hips crease here. Just going to ensure that it stays in the psoas and the deep core muscles, that you're in neutral pelvis so you can draw up through the pelvic floor and that you can still breathe. If we're not in neutral pelvis, we can't draw up through the pelvic floor and breathe at the same time. And relax your shoulders, your neck and your jaw, letting go of effort where there doesn't need to be effort and holding on where there does need to be effort. You might even start to feel that little quiver of the abdominal muscles. Might start to feel a little bit more heat coming into the body. Whenever we start to activate the deep core muscles, straight away, we ignite the fire within. Next breath out, you can relax the feet and just relax your torso over your legs. Relax your shoulders, let your head be heavy. Breathe into the back body. Inhale, lifting the chest up, flexing the feet, glue the heels to the floor, rolling back, keeping the legs active, the feet flexed. Exhale, folding forwards. Again, rolling back, relax your shoulders, your neck and your jaw. This time, inhale, rolling back. As you exhale, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Slide the feet in a little closer. Press through the hands and the feet and lifting your hips up into reverse table. Inhale, lowering the hips back down. Good knee bend, feet flexed and folding forwards. Again, breath in, rolling back. Pressing the hands, the feet, lifting the hips up, chin in towards chest, eye gaze towards your belly. Inhale, lowering the hips down. Exhale, folding forwards. Once more. This time, if it's not uncomfortable to do so, pause and hold in reverse table. If that's putting a lot of pressure on your wrist, please feel free to keep the hips on the floor and then you press through the hands, or you could press through your fists and still lift up through the chest. Chin in towards the chest, feet and knees are about hips distance apart. And notice if either, your knees are squeezing in together or perhaps the knees splaying out to the side. So we're wanting to keep that even pressure through the heels, the balls of the feet, the big toe side of the foot, the little toe side of the foot. And imagining you've got a $2 coin between your butt cheeks, drop it to the floor. And your next breath in, press the hands, press the feet, lift and open the chest. And then exhale, lowering the hips down and folding forwards, belly to thigh. You can relax the feet, but a really good knee bend. So we're not looking to get a deep forward fold here. Making sure there's lots of support from the legs. Then relax your shoulders, let your head be heavy. You can take your knees as wide as what's comfortable. If you feel a little compressed with the belly pressing on your thighs, take the knees out wider. And inhale, lifting your chest up. Bring the hands back, bend the elbows, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Press through the hands, lifting your chest, and then bringing your left foot in as close as what feels comfortable for you. Flex your right foot. It'll make for a more active stretch. Pressing down through the hands, lifting your chest and moving your chest towards your shin. Try and drop the shoulders away from the ears. Butt's on the floor. Just letting the knee open out to the side. If it feels good, you might want to rock the hips a little side to side or rock the legs side to side. If that feels like it kind of releases some tight pockets in there. If you want to come a little closer, keep bringing the left foot in. And bending the elbows, releasing your right foot, crossing your left foot over, flex the left foot, and then push through the hands, lifting the chest up. If you want to bring your right foot in a little closer, bring it in closer. Lift and open the chest. Accommodate the position of the hands that's comfortable for your wrists, your shoulders. If you want to add a little bit of movement, feel free to add the movement. And then bending your elbows, releasing your foot. Come around onto your hands and knees into tabletop. Tabletop, stack your joints with your shoulders above your wrists and your hips above your knees. So when our joints are stacked, there's a little bit more stability for the joints. Spreading your fingers comfortably, middle fingers are pointing towards the front, and really focus on pressing from the pads of the fingers through to the palm. Knees are below the hips, so there's a little space between the knees. And then bending your elbows, softening your shoulders away from your ears. Hug the elbows, the armpits in to feel a sense of stability in your upper back. Then tuck your toes under. See how many toes want to tuck under this morning. When you're ready, on your next breath in, gently stretching the front of the body, eye gaze towards the front of your mat to cow. Exhale, press the floor away, draw the chin in, round through the back, release the tops of the feet to cat. Inhaling to cow, tuck the toes, bend the elbows, hug the armpits in as you stretch the chest forward. Exhale to cat, push the floor away, straighten the arms, spread the shoulder blades, release the toes. Let's do a couple more, slow and mindfully. Breathing in and out through the nose. And after your next exhale, just coming back into a neutral spine.
We're going to continue to practice cat-cow, but this time we're going to get a little bit more active in the exhale. When you exhale, really focus on drawing up through the pelvic floor, lifting your navel towards your spine. So using your exhale a little bit like a bellow. So I'll show you what it looks like. So you'll deep breath in and then so I'm not really having to do anything on the inhale, apart from obviously I changed the shape of my body, but really the emphasis on the exhale. Push the floor away, draw the navel up, draw up through the pelvic floor. Amy, you're not going to be doing this. You're going to reverse the breath the other way. Remember, being pregnant, you want to breathe into cat and out to cow, yeah, supporting the lower back as you breathe out. So we don't want to create too much heat in your center. You've already got your own incubator in there. So whenever you're ready, bend the elbows, tuck the toes, deep breath into cow, and then a short, sharp exhale. Push the floor away, draw up through the pelvic floor, draw your navel to your spine, release the belly, bend the elbows, inhale, exhale, push the floor away. Let's do a couple more. Think of your belly like a big bellow. Inhaling the cow, the bellow opens, and then squeeze on the exhale. Ensuring you bend your elbows on your cow, softening the shoulders away from the ears, hugging the armpits in, and you need that bend in the elbows so that when you come into cat, you really push the floor away, strengthening your arms, your shoulders, and your upper back, as well as not enabling you to hang into your joints. Let's do one more. And then coming back into neutral spine. You might be feeling a little warmer now. Let's shift the hands one whole hand's distance further forwards. Bend the elbows. Continue to hug the elbows, armpits in. Stability for the upper back as you tuck the toes and then push up into down dog. Keep the knees bent as you push up into down dog, as opposed to pushing up to down dog with straight legs and then bending the knees. So press up and back with the knees bent. So straight away you bring the beautiful length into your spine, the depth into the hips crease, bringing you into neutral pelvis. And pressing through the pads of the fingers, through the whole of the palm. And it's almost like when we activate the fingers, the muscles of the fingers and the palm, that you've got like a little suction cap there. Inside, the center of your palm is almost lifted away from the floor, like a gecko. Taking a couple of breaths here. Feel free to make any movement. If you like to walk the dog, if you're feeling tight in your calves and your ankles, you might like to just sway the hips side to side, or you might love to be in stillness in this pose and feel that sense of stability from the hands to the hips, from the hips down the back of the legs to the heels. Let's keep moving on the breath. Inhale, lower the knees to the floor. Exhale, send your hips back towards your heels. Keep the hands where they are so we can continue to move on the breath. Inhaling up on the hands and knees. Bend the elbows, tuck the toes, lift your hips to down dog. Do that another 2 times. Slow and steady, follow the breath. Inhale, guide the knees down. Exhale, press through the hands to send the hips back. Unfurl up on the hands and knees. Bend the elbows, tuck the toes, lift the hips to down dog. Do that one more time. And pausing in down dog once you get there. Let's lift the right leg into the air, 3-legged dog. Core plank, shoulders over the wrists, knee in towards your chest. And again, reaching back, 3-legged dog. As you reach back, really bend your left knee here, because the driving power is going to come through the ball of your left foot to bring your right knee into your chest, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, core plank. Pause and hold here in core plank. Push the floor away. Amy, you take it easy. You can even lower your left knee to the floor. You got nothing to prove. Yep. Take it easy in your hip flexors. Inhale, reaching back, 3-legged dog, and then lowering your foot to the floor. So 3-legged dog, left leg lifting. Exhale, core plank. So this can be done on toes or knees. If you're doing it on the knees, lower your right knee, inhale, reaching your left leg back. Exhale, core plank, knee into the chest, squeeze it in. Once more, and this time we're going to pause and hold the core plank. So you can be on knees or toes. Pause and hold here, press the floor away, lift up out of the shoulders, lift the pit of the belly. Inhale, reaching back, three-legged dog. And then lower your foot to the floor. Lower your knees to the floor. Take your knees out wide, big toes together. Send the hips back to the heels and coming into a shoulder stretch. Slide your right arm underneath your left, coming onto your shoulder. Turn the head to the side and then extend your left arm forward. Even keep your left arm a little active, pressing down through your hand. Breathing into the back of your right shoulder, maybe between your shoulder blades if you hold on to tightness and tension there, which is a typical area for us to hold on to tension. Pressing through your left hand, lifting your chest up. Right hand forward, left arm slides under. Come onto your shoulder, turn the head to the side. Pressing through the hands, lifting your chest up, coming back up onto all fours into tabletop. From your tabletop, shift your hands one whole hand's distance further forward. Bend the elbows, tuck the toes, lift up into down dog. Let's get moving up onto the legs. Right leg lifts to three-legged dog. Knee to chest, big step through, heel ball toe landing. High lunge, bend the back knee, press down through the feet, unfurl all the way up. Relax down through your shoulders. Take your arms to wherever is comfortable for you. Then bend the back knee, come a little bit lower. Steady your eye gaze on one point. We're going to move on the breath, but importantly that you find this neutral pelvis where you're not tucking your tailbone under, but you're not letting your belly fall forward either. But find your neutral pelvis, remembering that way we can connect with pelvic floor and breathe. Inhale, press through the feet, reaching up. Exhale, bend the back knee, bring fists in towards the hips and draw up through the pelvic floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Keep moving with the rhythm of your own breath. You can make this as dynamic or slow it down as much as what you need this morning. Next breath out. Pause and hold here. Hands to your hips. Tip your pelvic bowl forwards so the spine stays straight. Then extend the leg, come up onto the ball of the back foot, lift the pit of your belly, and then extending your arms forward. If that feels like it's too strong, bring the arms back. So you need a really long stance here, yeah? So front knee is over the ankle. Look how long my leg is back there. My foot is way back. Tipping from the hips, not keeping the chest up and kind of rounding forward. So tipping right from the pelvis. Pit of the belly lifted. Open up through the chest. Inhale, release the hands to the floor. Anchor your back heel down and line up your front heel with the middle arch of your back foot, setting up for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Stack the front knee, push into both feet, slowly unfurl up, open your chest, lead with the elbows and extending the arms out. Now, if you came up and went straight leg and then bend, I want you to come back down again, press into the feet, keeping your front knee stacked, build the pose from the ground up, and then opening the elbows out. That's it. So the joints are stacked, Your muscles engage with the joints stacked as we come up. Relax down through your shoulders. Glance down, check your front knee. It's tracking the center of your front foot. See your big toe, second toe, maybe your third, maybe not. Have a look at your back foot. So toes can either be kind of, if you're quite open in your hips, they might be pointing to your front. If not, anchor your heels slightly back. Let the pelvis tilt around so we can find neutral pelvis. Then press into the feet and reach up through the crown of the head. Eye gaze is down your front middle finger. Breathe. Wish goodwill. Then releasing hands either side of the front foot and step back into down dog. Now we're warm. Lifting your left leg into the three-legged dog. Knee to chest. Heel ball toe landing. Help it through if you need to. High lunge to start with. Bend the back knee. Bend it a lot. That's going to enable you as you push through the feet to come up with neutral pelvis. If we come up with our back leg straight, we can't find neutral pelvis. Relax down through your shoulders. Remembering, take your arms to where's comfortable. If that's cactus arms or wider or even more out in front here. Steady your eye gaze on one point. Prepare for a little movement. Inhale, press down through the feet, reaching up. Exhale, fists in towards the hips, draw up towards the pelvic floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, back knee lowers. Remembering you can make this as dynamic or slow it down as much as what you need today. Next time you lower, exhale, pause here. Take a hold of your hips. Tip the torso forwards, all the way forward. So belly comes to your thigh. You lose your fingers into your hips crease. Just watch so you're not rounding through the upper back, lowering the head. So chest stays open. We're just tilting the pelvis. Then extend the back leg. Come right up onto the ball of the back foot. This gives us strength. If when you come up onto the ball of the back foot, your front knee is in front of your ankle, slide your back foot further. We want the weight even through both legs. Lift the pit of the belly. Then either reaching forwards or you can take the arms back. If you're tying your shoulders, you might want to take your arms wider or even cactus arms, allowing the chest and shoulders to stay open. Breathe. No holding the breath. Next breath out. Release your hands to the floor. Bring your back foot over a little so when you anchor the heel down, you can line up front heel with the middle arch of the back foot. And even take a moment here to turn the toes of your right foot a little more towards the front here. Or towards your front, the top of your mat. Stack left knee over the ankle. Now your challenge is to keep your left knee stacked over the ankle as you unfurl up. And then lead with the elbows, opening the arms out. Check down, knees tracking the center of the foot. Ease your pelvis in a comfortable position. You're in neutral. You can move it a little to the front, open it out to the side. Where is comfortable for you? Then press down through the feet. Lift and reach for the crown of the head, out through the fingertips. Eye gaze down your front middle finger. Finding the balance of effort and ease. And then releasing your hands either side of your front foot. Step back into down dog. Lower your knees to the floor. If you have a block, place it at the top of your mat. If you've got a water bottle there, place it at the top of your mat. Maybe you've got a chair in the room that you could use if you don't have a water bottle or a block handy. Making your way back up on your hands and knees into down dog. Lifting your right leg into the earth, three-legged dog. Knee to chest, stepping through. So setting up for Ardha Chandrasana or half moon. Let's start by stepping your back foot in halfway. Walk the hands forward if you're using a block or a water bottle. Right hand to block or water bottle or chair. And move your right hand a torso's distance forward and a little over to the right to counterbalance. Pick up your left foot and squeeze your knee in towards your chest. Knees in towards your chest, and then with your left hand, you can even hug your knee in towards your chest. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, push up and out through your left hand and your left heel. Circle your top arm back, down and around. Bend both knees, get close to the earth, bend into your elbow. So if you're not sure, have a look. We're going to do a couple of rounds moving. So if you need to see it, stop, pause, and look. And then circle back around. When you're ready, jump back in there. But it's about getting close to the earth and then pushing the floor away. So as you circle the top arm back and bring the knee in, your right elbow and knee bend, and then push down and out. Breathing in as you curl in, exhale, push out, draw up through the pelvic floor, press down through the hand and the foot. Imagine you're in like you're in the womb or a big bubble and you're pushing out against the edges of the bubble. Once more. Pause and hold. That's it. Soften your standing leg. Press your hand into your block or your water bottle or your chair. If your hand is on the floor, fingertips on the floor lightly so your leg is holding you up. Lifted leg is active, flexing the foot. Press out through the heel. Thigh and glutes engaged. Bend your front knee. Circle. Left hand around all the way to the floor. Bring your block water bottle back in. Take a big step back and press back into down dog. Breathe a little. So lift left leg into the three-legged dog. Knee to chest, stepping through. So even if you don't have a block or a water bottle or a chair, you could have a pillow underneath your hand or something to lift you up a little bit higher. Now take your time to set up the balance. Step the right foot in halfway so that then you can move your left hand a torso's distance forward and a little over to the left. Transfer the weight onto your left foot, your left hand. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. You can hug it in if you like. Now bend, left elbow and knee, get close to the earth. Exhale, push down through your hand and foot, out through your hand and foot. Circle the top arm back, down around, bend, get close to the earth, elbow, knee bends. Exhale, push the floor away. Steady your eye gaze on one point. Remembering if you need to see, stop, look, and then have a go. Don't try and look while you're trying to balance. And when you're inside a bubble, you want to push the hands and the feet so that they stick out from the outside of the bubble. Once more, coming around, pausing and holding. Next time you come into your half moon, standing knee is soft, lifted leg active, reaching through the palms. Circle the top arm back, around to the floor. Bring both hands in, take a big step back, plant the hands, step back into down dog. Noticing your breath, heat in the body. Lowering your knees to the floor. Sending your hips back towards your heels, coming into child's pose. If it's not comfortable with the knees together, please feel free to take them wider. Pressing your hands, lifting your chest up. Come around onto your back. Show the floor underneath you is warm, it's not cold. If you're on wooden floors or tiles with your just one mat, you might want to put a blanket down. And once you're down there, bending your knees up, feet on the floor. Come right up onto the balls of your feet. So the heels are lifted. Then press down through the feet. Lift your hips up. Shift your hips over towards the right side of your mat. Lay the left hip down. Pick your feet up. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Arms out to the side in the form of a cross, and let your knees fall over to the left. So by moving the hips first, you're now stacking your joints. If when you let the knees fall over to the side, your right shoulder lifts, then bring your right hand to your ribs or your waist, just so there isn't a pulling in your shoulder. If it's comfortable in your neck, to look down your right arm, turn the head, look down your right arm. You can stay in this position if you're comfortable here. If you want to try, keep the knees together, but extending your top leg, your right leg, just out from the knee. And then with your left hand, you can either rest your hand onto your shin, your ankle, or if you can hold your foot, you can hold your foot. As we prepare to come into holding the cat's tail. So it's only a variation. It's not, you know, like let's all go there. If you're comfortable here, feel free to stay here. Then if you're wanting to go further, bring your left heel, so the bottom heel towards your bottom, and start to move your bottom knee so that it points towards the foot end of your mat. And then with your right hand, you reach back and hold on to your left foot, keeping the shoulders open, the chest open towards the ceiling. So if in order to hold your left foot, you roll your torso all the way to the left, then it's not for you today. Keeping the chest open, so you're staying in the twist. And then of course, you know, checking in that you can breathe once you get there. Slowly release your left foot. Bring the knees back together. Bend your right knee. And then roll back onto your back. Knees bent up. Just pausing here for a moment. Letting everything settle. And then pressing your balls of your feet, lift your heels. Then lift your hips, so you get a little bit more height if you lift your heels into the air as well, as opposed to just lifting your hips. Slide your hips over towards the left side of your mat. Lay the right hip down, arms out to the side in the form of a cross. Pick your feet up, knees in towards the chest, and then let the knees fall over to the right. Turning the head to where it's comfortable for the neck. If your left shoulder is lifted a lot off the floor, then bring your hand to your ribs or to your waist. And either staying here, or if you want to try, knees stay together, just extending out from the knee, your left leg, your top leg extends out. And then if you want to, bring your right heel towards your buttocks and start to move your right knee to point towards the foot end of your mat and reaching back with your left hand. Keeping the chest open, shoulders relaxed, left shoulder relaxing down in the direction of the floor. And slowly releasing your right foot. Bring your knees back together and then bending your left knee. Bring your hips back to the center and just pausing here for a moment. Bring the knees in towards the chest. If it feels good to rock side to side, rocking side to side. Rolling all the way to the right. Press your hands, coming up and getting comfortable, getting all your props sorted for Shavasana. That might mean putting a jumper on as well, so your body stays warm. Blanket under you, over you, bolster behind your knees or pillow. If you've got an extra pillow or blanket, place it underneath your head, supporting the neck and the head. And paying Shavasana the attention that it deserves, that we do to every other pose. You know, really taking the time to align your body, your legs out straight, supported by a pillow or a bolster. You might want to give your shoulder blades a little bit of a wiggle, spreading the shoulder blades, opening into the chest and the shoulders. As you do that, drawing your chin in towards your chest, lengthening the back of the neck, and then letting your neck muscles relax. Checking in that your feet are warm enough, that your hands are warm enough. Placing something over your eyes, withdrawing the sense of sight. Taking a deep breath in and out. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, awakening your nervous system, your senses. Start to notice any sounds that you can hear around you. And gradually making the movements bigger, making whatever movements you feel you need to awaken from Shavasana. And eventually bending your knees up and rolling to the right. And pressing your hands into the floor. Coming up into a comfortable seated position. Bring your palms together in the heart center. And repeating your intention to yourself once more. Let's feel the practice chanting together once the mantra Om. Take a deep breath in. Lifting your thumbs to your forehead. Namaste.